Nowadays, it seems as though everyone is under a lot of stress. With work, kids, school, never ends. Well, that stress can do some major damage to your body and make you unhealthy. Here with more on the sneaky ways we may show stress and how it can affect our bodies is Dr. Mikell Parsons with the Natural Path Health Center. Dr. P, welcome to the show again.
Hey.
You know, we're talking about stress.
Yeah.
I think I could safely say that all of us are under a lot of stress. Right?
More and more.
More and more. How do we know, though, that stress is affecting our bodies?
One of the first signs, you know, I could tell is literally as soon as someone walks through the door if they're stressed.
Really?
And what I find fascinating is I'll say, you know, what's your stress level like? Oh, I'm not, you know, I'm okay. And they're rigid. I could tell they're moving stiffly. They're holding their shoulders up. I'm watching how they're breathing, and they're not utilizing the full capacity of the lobes of their lungs. So they might say, oh, no, I'm not stressed, but physically they're wearing the signs. It's very clear to someone who's trained to look for that.
But can you tell on yourself?
On myself?
Yeah. Can you tell? Would I be able to tell?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So one of the things that you can do is just have an awareness of where your shoulders are.
Okay.
When we get stressed, we tend to hold them up just even a millimeter or two. They're not supposed to be up there. And then when we're really stressed, we're like this.
Yeah.
You know, and the more stress we get, the higher the shoulders get. We start to hunch forward. We take short little breaths. So if you just tune in, if you tend to sit like this, and your mind is just buzzing, you can't physically take a deep breath. It is physically impossible to take a deep breath. Did you notice she suddenly sat up straight? You can't do it. There's a big difference, and it's all about what the diaphragm is doing. So the diaphragm is underneath the rib cage, and for us to have a good full deep breath, we need to have our shoulders back. More like not necessarily a military posture, but pulled back. That opens up the rib cage, and the diaphragm does this. It drops down and up, down and up. So when we get used to doing those short little shallow breathing, almost like that hyperventilation, the diaphragm's going like this instead of down and up. And when that diaphragm gets locked up, it just perpetuates. So now you're not getting enough oxygen, which increases the stress, which decreases your brain's ability to think clearly, which decreases then good decision making. See how it all starts to spiral?
And I imagine causing a lot of headaches. Is that where maybe headaches come in from?
Yeah.
Because stress affects your brain.
Exactly. Right? It has a direct effect on the brain. So when we get tight, like they're showing various trigger points, when we get tight, there's one trigger point right in the traps, right in the shoulders, that when we check for these little nodules, it can refer pain directly up into the head. And it's usually up the back of the neck, behind the ear, into the temporal area, and you know, we call that the question mark headache because it forms a question mark here, down to there.
And you actually feel it in this area of
and
your
you
head.
might feel it here, you might feel it here, you might feel it here, or you could feel the whole thing. That's all because that muscle is really tight because you're holding your shoulders up because you're stressed, and you're not working through whatever it is that's stressing you out.
And for people that think they're suffering so much stress and they come to see you, what can you do for them? I mean, a lot of people think, well, I'm going to get rid of my headache by getting a massage. There are other ways to relieve your stress, right?
Absolutely. One of the things that I look at is the nutritional component because when we're under stress, it increases our utilization of a lot of the vitamins. But the other thing that we, me, myself, and I, all three of us, we will actually reset someone's diaphragm.
Oh.
So the diaphragm's a muscle like any other muscle, and when it gets tight, it needs to be relaxed. But it's not something that we can just grab. I can't grab a hold of, you know, I can't grab a hold of it like your arm. So there's a technique that can be done in the office where you lay on the table, and I actually go in and reset your diaphragm. And, you know, we can do a reading to see what your oxygen is like before and after, and have you do some deep breathing, and there is a significant difference. People who have that chronic cough with, you know, or asthma, any of those lung conditions, which is another sign of stress because that is a sign that your adrenals aren't functioning correctly, you know, you need your diaphragm reset.
And how much would that be? You're having a special.
I'm doing a special because I know everyone's stressed out. And so if you are concerned about that, if you feel that, gee, am I stressed even though I don't think I am, as my body's saying, yes, there are signs, then you can come into the office and we will do an analysis to just see what, is there physical signs, and I will reset your diaphragm, and you can leave with a plan of some tools maybe to help you deal with that. And we'll do that for $50.
Yay!
You get a lot in that visit.
447-1404 is the number to call to make your appointment at the Naturopath Health Center.
Help your diaphragm out.
Help you and your diaphragm out, and your head, and everything else that's wrong with us because of stress. Thank you so much, Dr. P. It's good to see you. We'll see you again next week.
Yes.
Stick around, Central Valley Today. We'll be right back.